Hi, everybody. It's me just kind of testing some things out. We'll see how that goes. And welcome to the first episode of Go F.O.C. Yourself. With me, Brandon, doing his thing on the day off. Today, we're basically testing to see if this camera has gone to crap. Well, not the camera, sorry. The internet connection, basically. I just kind of woke up from a nap, honestly. And I was like, oh yeah, I gotta do the thing. Days off are fun. So I'm gonna try a couple different things. One of them for the first time to go over sort of what's coming up on final order cutoff. Final order cutoff is due this Sunday at 5 p.m. for us. Folks might know that final order cutoff for the industry tends to be on Monday. I ask for them on Sunday so that I can actually get everything in properly so that nobody ends up missing anything. And, that works out generally pretty okay. So we're just hoping to be a little more proactive with something like this. And I don't really have a set format for this because I hadn't planned it at all until a little bit ago. So we're gonna actually try something new and see if this works. All right. So the things that we're going over today are gonna be on the previews website here. We're also going to be talking about the bad idea stuff because our orders for ENIAC number 1 are due on Wednesday. So folks who don't know about that, actually, yeah, let's go through that quickly right now. Whoop. Hi, Squee. Folks who don't know about Bad Idea and ENIAC, Bad Idea is an outfit that started up last year, a year and a half ago, with the intent to put out comics to a select few comic stores. We were picked as one of the original 100. That number has grown to 200. And we are going to be getting those books in first week of March with ENIAC number 1. Now, if you want to get ENIAC number 1 or any of the Bad Idea comics, there are a few little hoops to jump through. One, the numbers we set for issue 1 of an arc or a concept, that's the minimum we can do for the rest of the series. So say if we order 100 copies of ENIAC number 1, we have to order a minimum of 100 copies of number 2, number 3, and number 4. So what we're doing for ENIAC in any Bad Idea series that is more than a one-shot, we're having folks either pay for the whole arc if we don't know who you are. If you come in off the streets, we'll take down your information and we'll make sure you get the following issues, but you're paying for it up front. If you are on file and are in good standing, you're on for that arc. Hi. Cats know when there's cameras on. They were sleeping before, and now Squee's just like, oh, hey, buddy, what's going on? They will. If you're getting a Bad Idea story, we will get you to pay for the arc, or if you're a subscriber in good standing or have your payment information on file, we can get you the series, no problem. But it is going to be one of those things where you will have to get the whole shebang. So let's see if I can. I should have done this before. Better focus for Brandon. All right. So now we're actually going to go through the final order cutoff stuff that's coming up here. Hopefully y'all can see this screen pretty well. Let me know if you can't, and I will see what I can do about it. Can I do that? There. That's probably the best I can do for there. Boo doo 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 doo. So for the most part, we're going to be checking out number ones and things to be interested in. You might see me click on something. You won't see that expand because these pop up in a different window. That actually works out well for me. Department of Truth Volume 1. Here's something very important to know about this. You see this cover for the first volume of Department of Truth number 1. If you come into Variant Edition, you're not going to see this cover. You want to know why? Because we're getting our own specific cover that utilizes the art of the first 5 issues. Just for ourselves and a few select retailers throughout the world. We put this together and we utilized the talents of Mr. Dylan Todd, the person who does Department of Truth. With that, we decided to, because he did our original logo and our logo redesign, and with that we decided to see if we could get something a little special for us. We did. We gave him a small chunk of change, and now y'all can get yourselves something special yourselves. So that's going to be pretty cool. Squee, stop it! I'm trying to do a show, and he's trying to bite my hand while I do it. Something that folks have been really interested in this week is Haha number 1. Haha number 1 is an anthology horror series from the writer of Ice Cream Man and a bevy of different artists. It's going to be a 6-issue miniseries. The first issue was phenomenal. It sold out immediately. We had extra for shelf. Lots of people asking for it. You can get this specific cover, the second printing, if y'all ask for it. Orders for this kind of stuff are, of course, due at at 5 p.m. on Sunday. So if there's anything like that you are looking for specifically, please, 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 please let us know, because otherwise we won't be able to help, unfortunately. So folks who missed out on Haha number 1, definitely check that out. And let us know what you want for that one. Boo-doo, boo-doo. Radiant Black number 1. Here's the fun part about FOCs from some companies. They will actually give us a little bit of a preview of certain books. So we have read Radiant Black number 1. It is very much a Spider-Man style story with a lot of downtrodden writer stuff happening. So that's a cool thing. It's by Kyle Higgins, the person who brought back the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in comic book form and did it to such good effect that that franchise is kind of huge in comics right now. So that's really cool. It looks like Lori says it's looking really good, the feed. So what we did and what we added looks like it fixed that problem, especially since we're broadcasting to 3 different venues. As long as that's working, hey, I'm super happy with it. So actually, I should double test, like, are we seeing me pretty clearly? I think that's going to be the more important thing too, as well, because we're doing the share screen thing and trying to do that. Is Radiant Black a Lori Want book? You know what? I do actually feel like it would be. It's not something that I thought of right away, but actually, yeah, that would work out quite well, just thinking about it with your prompt. Yeah, it's really well done. It really kind of digs to the heart of a lot of, and depends on your range for a lot of these things, but a lot of insecurities and being given an opportunity to kind of do good, and kind of what you do with these things in these situations. It gets you a little down, but it gets you a little up when you kind of think of what people do in positions of power and whatnot. So I think it's going to be a pretty cool series. Also out this week, sorry, Stray Dogs number 1. which is a crime noir story, or as it says, as you can see on the screen, Lady and the Tramp meets Silence of the Lambs. With, as you can see, some, I would say, Tarantino-inspired covers for the series. It's a dark one, I'm not gonna lie, and trigger warnings for like animal stuff. It's somewhat anthropomorphized animals as they can talk, basically. So, as you can see, they've got the Silence of the Lambs inspired cover there and a blank cover to go. They've also got one more, but they're not showing the previews of it. I am super, super upset whenever they don't show the previews of the covers because, quite frankly, final order cutoff updates are set for basically 10 a.m. our time. If I'm not seeing the information when I'm allowed to go through and make my final orders, I don't really feel confident with placing those. I can't talk to you about it, right? And that's proof positive. It's just it's not there, and that is upsetting. But what can you do other than maybe not order it? Alrighty. Write It in Blood is something we are going to be looking into. It is a graphic novel. It took a little too long to get through properly. I love the creators behind it, Rory McCoville and Joe Palmer. Just they do phenomenal work, but they're definitely lesser knowns. But the gut feeling I have is, if you like No Country for Old Men, this is something that you're going to be very interested in. But we will be talking about that, of course, later, and digging into that. Some other things to look at this week. Black Hammer is back with Black Hammer Visions. It's going to have a bunch of different creative teams. This first issue is written by Patton Oswalt. So if you want some superhero stuff written by Patton Oswalt, hey, you got your thing. But as you can see here, also future issues have Jeff Johns, Mariko Tamaki, Chip Zdarsky, and Kelly Thompson. So that's going to be pretty cool. There was a lot of folks excited for Fear Case. There we go. Fear Case #1. There's a second print coming out pretty much the week after issue 1 hits. So here's the 2 tracks. All right. 1, if you want the story, we can still actually get you first printing. We can get you a second printing if you're not that keen into it. For folks who are looking to collect things because there's low print runs and whatnot, that's not quite our bag, but we also know that people enjoy comics in a myriad of different ways. One of them is collecting them for certain things. Because the first issue isn't out when this order needs to be placed, if you want to kind of like roll the dice on something, Fear Case #1 second print, it's not going to be a thing unless media is made. We all kind of know that if you're talking in collecting circles. But if you're looking to do your thing, a second print of a book that's not even out yet, place a token order if that's your bag. I personally think the story is going to be really good because it's Matt Kint and Tyler Jenkins, and they've done phenomenal work together before on things like Black Badge and the book that's escaping my mind from Boom, even though Black Badge was also from Boom. Good stuff. I'll come up with that maybe when we're not live. I mean, I'm personally excited when there's new Gerard Way stuff out, and we've got that with National Anthem, The True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys. You might know the Fabulous Killjoys from one of the last My Chemical Romance albums. They've been doing comics. The original comic series had art by Becky Cloonan. This one has by Leonardo. Let me see here. Leonardo Romero. It's so good. and super bonkers. If you have that Umbrella Academy Jones and you're looking to fill it up with something strange, definitely go along this line and get that going for y'all self. When are we looking at some more stuff, of course, to kind of page through? You can find all of the stuff at previewsworld.com/final orders due. You can also place your final orders with us if you go to your Managed Comics account. If you don't have a Managed Comics account, definitely hit us up in the comments wherever you're watching this, and we can help set something up for you. The DC Comics stuff is on here. DC Comics is not carried by Diamond in Canada, so this is actually listed in error, or the States even. So some more stuff coming out from Marvel, including they look to be doing some Masterworks covers based off of their Masterworks line of hardcovers, where they collect classic runs and run from there. It's just kind of like scrolling through some of the stuff that's available. A lot of these series very far in progress. If you want to cover with Captain America fighting an alien, they've actually been doing a lot of covers because Marvel now has the Alien and Predator license. And we'll be doing an Alien series in March. Eternals is back. The second issue is on final order cutoff. Kieran Gillen is writing it. Esad Ribic, the person who does this cover here, is drawing it. As you can see, Thanos is there. If any of these flavors appeal to you, highly suggest that you jump on such a series. I'm interested, even though I nothing the Eternals. The Eternals are kind of, I don't know, like a C-D-E concept-ish, especially when you consider Jack Kirby came up with them, and Jack Kirby came up with a lot of amazing, amazing, amazing stuff. The worlds that man included held in his head. How he had the space for all of those ideas is beyond me. But you know, we kind of live in awe of the man and what he gave to comics in the world. But the Eternals, something hasn't clicked with everybody about it. There is an upcoming movie, maybe that will take it to the next level. But as you can see here, we've got a new series. It is very, very good. To kind of explain it, it's just sort of like digging into gods in a world where superheroes exist. So what kind of level do you need to be on to sort of run that kind of life when you have people like Thanos around? Like, it's an interesting story about goddom in a world of superpowers. So King in Black is still happening and going strong. You will see a couple reprints of earlier issues because folks are out. We do still have some first printings at the store, and you'll see some tie-ins such as the Thunderbolts and Black Panther. For those who don't know what King in Black is, it's a pretty big Marvel crossover thing hinging on the last couple of years of Venom by Donny Cates that has built wonderfully, wonderfully well, and including a lot of Donny Cates's cosmic stuff that he's been building over the years, really, with Thanos, Cosmic Ghost Rider, the whole deal. This is where a lot of it's paying off, and it is truly wild and bonkers. Scrolling. There's a Morbius one-shot here. Not much is known about this because Marvel doesn't tend to give retailers PDFs. They used to quite a bit back in the day, but then they stopped because people started spoiling the stories before they were out on the stands. And by people, I mean other retailers. And that is the reason why we can't have nice things. The Spider-Gwen omnibuses are hanging out on here. I always tell people, if you're looking for an omnibus and you want the direct market variant, if you do not ask by final order cutoff, even though this book will not be coming out until, let me click and see here, won't be coming out until June because of the extended print run of giant hardcovers. If you don't let us know before the final order cutoff, we can't get you a direct market variant these days. They print them incredibly tight, and they do not tend to reprint the direct market variants. So keep an eye on that. As you can see here, we've got Star Wars High Republic #1 third printing. First print just came out, blew out of every single store. Demand super high. Second printing is coming out last week of January. Third print, if you're all looking for the story, we can get you hooked up with some second prints. Some third prints are clearly on the way. And yeah, and those are some other stuffs coming out. There's a second Wolverine omnibus coming out. Folks have been clamoring for that for quite some time because folks, I don't know if you guys know this, people like Wolverine, the Great Canadian Murder Bean. He's a super good cuddle monster with claws, and we should know because we hang out with cats. Dynamite's hanging out here. They always have a gajillion covers. We mostly just kind of page through Dynamite. Folks either tend to really like their line or not quite care about their line. They do focus mainly on pulp characters. But as you can see, lots of covers. These aren't even all the covers available, just they're the ones that are kind of listed here. There's also tons of retailer incentive variants available, but they never show those on these sites, which I'm quite frankly happy about. But yeah, you've got your different covers here for these different series. Red Sonja with some public domain superheroes having some good fight times, and a Red Sonja Valentine's Day special, some Vampirella. We got Boom doing some Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Volume 14. Diamond has kind of screwed up a bit the past weeks and have included the Boom stuff in this giant catch-all down here. Even though Boom is one of their premier publishers. One of the things I'm super excited for that appears to be actually coming out is the Achewood Great Outdoor Fight one-shot. They're going to collect that classic series of comics in a nice volume. As it says here, 3 days, 3 acres, 3,000 men, the epic spectacle of violence, virility, and valor that helped name Achewood Time Magazine's best graphic novel of the year. That did happen. For a webcomic, join Ray and Beef on a journey through the complete fight storyline, from truck nuts for your smartphone right through to the recumbent Tai Chi fighting style and riding into the boys' return home. Achewood is beyond bonkers. I love that series and makes me super happy about life. It is a little bizarre. The series seems to be running off of in-jokes that they never tell you about, but it's done in such a way that just sort of like brings people in. The internet really loves that book, and I am part of the internet, so I super love it. And I'm glad that Oni Press is doing complete Achewood collections later this year. So very excited about that. A bunch of other stuff happening. AWA has Casual Fling happening from Jason Starr and Dalibor Chowjek. Haven't had a chance to read this one, so we'll probably have to talk about it at a later day. But they basically, AWA does a bunch of a lot of more genre stuff. This one definitely in their crime area. Something we'll talk about when we get some preview stuff to read. Sometimes you'll see things like, say, Darkwing 3 of 10 and Darkwing 4 of 10. Generally speaking, both of those aren't going to come out at the same time. Diamond isn't always diligent about their information, and Heavy Metal Magazine especially so is not diligent about updating their release dates. So let's see what else we got. Doctor Who continues a little mini crossover that they have going on with the 10th Doctor and the 13th Doctor. It's been super amazing and very, very enjoyable. Girlhaven is another one that we're very excited about, from Lila Sturges and Megan Carter. 3 years ago, Ash's mom, Kristen, left home and never came back. Now Ash lives in a house where Kristen grew up. All of her things are there: her old room, her old clothes, and the shed where she spent her childhood creating a fantasy world called Coritris. Now Ash knows all about Coritris, how it's a haven for girls with no men or boys allowed and filled with fanciful landscapes and creatures. When Ash's friends decide to try going to Coritris using one of Christian's spell books, Ash doesn't think anything will happen, but the spell works. And Ash discovers that the world Kristen created is actually a real place with real inhabitants and very real danger. So kind of your go down the rabbit hole Alice in Wonderland style, with a more feminist bent. And hey, that's our store. That's how we roll. And boom, boom. I know there's some other interesting stuff here. Ooh, Hollow Heart. I'm very excited for Hollow Heart to come out. Vault has been absolutely killing it this year with some amazing, amazing books. It doesn't have the whole series here because these ones need to be ordered on a different timeline, but let's talk about this. L used to be human, and now he's a jumble of organs in a biosuit. EI is also L is also in tremendous pain and has been for a long time. Hope arrives in the form of Mateo, a mechanic brought in to work on L's suit. Mateo sees L in a way no one ever has, and what's more, Mateo offers L an escape. Hollow Heart reunites tech creators Paul Allor and Paul Tucker for a queer monster love story about the choices that we make between giving our loved ones what they want and giving them what they need, or what we think they need. And yeah, that's my shit. And I think that's going to be super freaking great. Keep scrolling. I Walk with Monsters is getting a second printing. We have a bunch of the first printing. One of my pals actually is friends with the artist. And Danica was on a podcast with one of my favorite writers, the writer of I Walk with Monsters, Paul Cornell. And I am still extremely jealous of that. But yeah. That's a weird way to talk about that. I Walk with Monsters is phenomenal. All of Paul Cornell's stuff is phenomenal. And I highly recommend you check it out, especially if you're in the mood for kind of like feminist revenge horror. Because that's really what's percolating in that area. I want to know more about If You're Stabby. Stabby is a unicorn who has had a very bad day, who's positively magical and ready for sunshine, giggles, and sliding down rainbows. Oh yeah. Sorry, I read that weird. Let's start that again. Stabby is a unicorn who has had a very bad day. Period. Who's positively magical and ready for sunshine, giggles, and sliding down rainbows? Not Stabby. Meet the world's surliest unicorn. This stab-happy unicorn is a fan-favorite character from Mother Goth Rhymes, and now is getting his own book. If You're Stabby follows Stabby as he deals with life's challenges the only way he knows. Horn first. He's gonna stab y'all up real bad. Another Boom book. Boom is always a good thing to kind of check in with. Joe and Russ is a new middle-aged graphic novel, perfect for fans of Lumberjanes, and from cartoonist Audra Winslow about two unlikely best friends who learn to roll with the punches when life doesn't go their way. Joe and Russ don't realize how much they have in common. She's a middle-aged schooler who's constantly bullied, and he's a high schooler in a rock band. But when a mysterious one-eyed cat, okay, here we go, brings them together, they quickly learn that they're both outcasts trying to figure out what they really want from life in a world where the odds are stacked against them. Folks, these people were brought together by a one-eyed cat. How could we not carry this book about life and love and, like, well, maybe not love, but like figuring out who you are and going forward and being awesome? How could we not carry that in, given who we are? It's impossible to say. By impossible, I mean it's just hard to say, because that's not quite impossible. I could say it with my mouth. Meow, meow. Orcs. I just read this first issue. It is a wonderful all-ages story, as it says, for fans of Adventure Zone and Critical Role. I would 1,000% put that forward, but also with the caveat of this is definitely all ages. So if you have little kiddos that you want to bring into this kind of storytelling, this kind of magical world, fun, bonkers adventures with all orcs all the time, fighting and stabbing, but not like super murdery orcs, you're going to want to get that experienced and get that into hands of folkses. See, as you can see, Heavy Metal Magazine's just like, yeah, we're going to put out 3 issues that day. They're not. I can tell you right now with 100% certainty. 7 Secrets is going through a reprint cycle. If you've been interested in that series, it's basically a Tom Taylor series about this fantasy society that keeps 7 secrets very close to the vest because they're very magical spells that could essentially doom the world. They're trying to keep them apart from each other. It definitely has a feel of an upbeat, fast-paced action manga. And these covers actually grow on each other. So they don't show them here, but Boom did send them over in an email. So this is a diamond thing. Characters get added on each cover. So it's the same cover, but more people. So if you wanted to check that out, this is a good opportunity for that. The first collection that has, I believe the first 6 is also coming out around the same time as these single issues. Also, yeah, there's a company making a Three Stooges book because the kids love Three Stooges. The kids is a Three Stooges. I mean, to each their own. I do find it a little bizarre in this day and age when you're just like, hey, that marketing bonanza of Three Stooges. Ooh, girl. Witchblood, also from Vault. I'm assuming a lot of these are just sort of the covers that were revealed recently. They might be on F.O.C. later, but good Lord, the sound of the series. A modern Wild West road trip about a witch named Yona. A modern Wild West road trip about a story about a witch named Yona cruising the Southwest as a band of bloodthirsty biker vampires hunt her scattered coven for the source of all magic, Witchblood. Yeah, it's basically a witch biker story. It's going to look like this. It's going to be rad as hell. I'm just super freaking excited about all of it. And yeah, again, a lot of these sort of like pile up because folks don't change the on sale date. But there's a few other things for folks to get excited about. All right, that does it for this. I'm super glad that it appears this is working and very clear. that's going to do well for us in the future. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep doing the final order cutoff videos, but hey, if they're helpful and people kind of find out things that they're super excited and looking for, or if it helps them figure out what they want to order before final order cutoff, super happy to do that. All right, folks, thanks for watching, and we will see you again. Actually, yeah, our next streaming is, of course, going to be Tuesday night at 8:10 p.m., our weekly stream where we talk about the new comics and graphic novels that week. We probably have something else on tap for that show as a little bit of like a teaser, a taster, but we'll get to that then. We will actually be talking about what we got in. We got in the James Tynion and Steve Fox curated line of Razorblade magazines. These are brilliant, brilliant horror comics. They're not cheap. They cost us a pretty penny, so we're gonna figure out how we're gonna sell them to y'all, because they're, oh my god, they're filled to the brim with just amazing stories. But shipping to Canada is not cheap, my friends. All right, thank you all for watching, and we will talk to you again soon.